we were the Asian Games champion, and that's why we automatically qualified to go to the Melbourne Olympics. And it was something that I never dreamt of, to go to the Olympics. Singapore being a small country. Although fair enough, I think there was 16 teams, we came in number 13 or something like that. But I think the experience to be able to go to the Melbourne Olympics is always a memory.
I do not think of any personality during these 30, 40 years that literally sacrificed and made water polo, I would say, his first love.
I think, frankly, I've not even got a medal at the Asian Games and more to say the Olympics. I think the Olympics, would be one of his fantastic, achievements. Just being there, with the national team, putting Singapore on the map, and the other one would be, of course, the Asian Games gold medal.
But as a captain, he was a very good person in that he will always master the players together, and in difficult circumstances he will group them up, and in that way he was a very successful captain.
We meet quite often apart from golf. We go for dinner with a group of friends and so on. I think that's one of the things I remember very well. Yeah, and he has always been a very sincere and reliable friend, a perfect gentleman in that sense. Yeah.
Never give up your dream of what you want to do. Whether it's water polo, whether it's soccer, any game, or even anything that you are doing, your work, your hobby. If you have the passion for it, go for it, give your best. And then at the end of the day, whether you achieve your aim or your result, don't be disappointed. Feel that you have tried your utmost best. I don't think this is the right thing for me, and change. But move on. Life is beautiful and it's short. Short in the sense that we do not know what's in store for us tomorrow. But be contented, be happy. Don't be envious. Congratulate people who have done well. Don't feel that why this. All of us are made together, different expectations. But we move on as one, and we are thankful that we are staying in Singapore.
We are the OCBC Aquatic Centre at the Sports Hub. With me is SG Sports legend, Mr. Tan Eng Bock. Mr. Tan, your nickname is Mr. Water Polo. What does that nickname mean for you?
Well, I think they have been very kind to me, because since the young days, when I was 17, I played in the second Asian game where we won the gold medal. So all this while I've been associated as a player, as an official, as a coach, all this while until this very day.
Okay. who introduced you to the sport of water polo?
Okay, this one was my uncle Tan Wee Hock, Tan Wee Chui. They all were playing for Chinese Swimming Club, and Wee Hock was also he was a SEA Game gold medalist. Sorry, Asian Game gold medalist '52, and that's how what they call family influence and all that. And I used to started in Pasir Panjang. We all stay in Pasir Panjang by the seaside and Tiger Swimming Club long ago. My uncle was playing, and then from there I learned and watched, carry GoPros, and then from there we went to Chinese Swimming Club because my eldest uncle was the captain of the Singapore Swimming Club. Oh, sorry, Chinese Swimming Club, and that's how I started playing water polo.
Okay. You mentioned Pasir Panjang. You did your primary school.
Primary school in Pasir Panjang Primary School.
And then,
next to Mr. Goh Chok Tong was my neighbor and also schoolmate.
wow. Okay. And then you went Raffles Institution.
Yes, alright.
Was water polo already on your radar at that age?
Oh yeah, I was playing for the club, Tiger Swimming Club already in the league, Singapore League, and playing. Then in '54 I was already selected in the Asian Game team, Singapore national team.
Right.
So quite a while.
Okay. Like you mentioned, your father and your uncles were already water polo players, national
Yeah,
players.
they were already playing water polo, swimming, and all that.
Yeah.
My uncle, my dad, of course, my uncle, fourth uncle, Wee Eng, he was a footballer also, and Wee Hock, I think Wee Hock also, and then from there all we follow through.
So did they have to pressurize you to?
No.
So the love of the sport came to you?
It came to naturally, and of course we follow, we watch them play, we carry GoPros, and then by the side pick up ball, and then learn from there slowly.
Okay. Were you interested in any other sports besides water
No,
polo?
when I was in school in RI, I used to even participated in combined school. I used to be a high jumper. I used to be a long jumper. Everything, nothing to lose. I used to play rugby also, soccer also. But of course, the love at the end of the day is swimming in water polo.
At the age of 18, you featured at the Asian Games in 1954. How did you feel back then traveling to Manila, competing against the best in Asia?
Yes, it was really an experience. And then that
Especially
time
at the age of 18.
Yes, and I was playing with my uncle Wee Hock. He scored, we beat Japan 4-2 to win the gold medal, and he scored 2 of the goals. And I was one of the defenders that passed him two of the goals. I passed to him in backflip and scored a goal, 4-2. So it was a memory.
Okay, so what did that gold medal mean to you at such a young age?
I think that was really fantastic because why at that young age, and that played a role for me winning the gold medal, subsequently applying for job, going to, and that makes a world of difference.
Well, Eng Bock was a young player at that time. He was a teenager. He was a young teenager, and I was a senior player. And in the old days of water polo, I was a center forward, and I am expected to do all the scoring mainly. But Eng Bock was my winger, and so he was the one who helped me to supply me with all the balls for me to score. So he was a young fellow there, and he was good. And one day, one of the goals he scored was more accidental than anything else. He was supposed to pass the ball to me, but he missed the ball and he shot into the goalpost, into the Japanese goalpost. The ball skidded into the goal. Instead of giving me to make the flip, he scored the goal, and that was very interesting goal. It is not true that I backflipped the ball in and won the gold medal. No. In fact, what happened was when we were playing against the Japanese scored 2 goals, and the result of which was then I had to use my backflip, and I scored 2 goals to equalize the score. Then subsequently, Eng Bock was supposed to pass the ball to me, but he missed the ball and the ball skidded into the goal. So Eng Bock scored the 3rd goal. And then the 4th goal was scored by Weaver Walters. Weaver Walters got the ball and he swam in, and I drew the defense away from it, and then he scored it. So that's how we won the 54 games.
Well, 2 years later, in 1956, another historic milestone for you because Singapore competed at the Olympic Games in Melbourne. So what do you remember from that campaign, Mr.
Oh,
Tan?
that was really something fantastic because we were the Asian Games champion, and that's why we automatically qualified to go to the Melbourne Olympics. And it was something that I never dreamt of, to go to the Olympics. Singapore being a small country. Although fair enough, I think there was 16 teams, we came in number 13 or something like that. But I think the experience to be able to go to the Melbourne Olympics is always a memory.
Okay. Well, Singapore finished 10th at the Olympic Games.
Yes,
First
yes,
time. Wow,
yes.
what an achievement.
Yeah.
You were then part of the national team that went on to compete in 3 more Asian Games, right up
Correct.
to 1966.
Yep.
You won 2 silver and 1
Yep,
bronze.
1
So
bronze.
overall, your tally at the Asian Games, 1 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze.
Correct.
So 1-1. Are you
Correct.
satisfied with having a medal at each of your Asian Games appearances?
I'm always very thankful that we, a small country, and we were able to achieve what we have done. So of course I'm very thankful.
I think frankly, I've not even got a medal at the Asian Games and the more to say the Olympics. I think the Olympics, would be one of his fantastic achievements. Just being there, with the national team, putting Singapore on the map, and the other one would be, of course, the Asian Games gold medal. Yeah.
I thank God that I made it to the team. I was perhaps the weaker. There are 13 players. I won't be surprised I was number 12 or number 13. So I was playing forward. But in those days, the demarcation between forward and defense were not so great. But of course, Eng Bock was a much faster, better, more skillful a player, selfless, and a team player. So he was, in terms of water polo technique, skills and capability, he was much better than me. So I'm extremely grateful that I made it to the team.
Now we come to the 1965, the very first SEAP Games. You were 28 years old back then. You were the team captain, and it was your team, Mr. Tan, which started the ball rolling. The historic winning streak at the SEA Games when you won gold at the 65 Games. What did it mean to you to be crowned the best in Southeast Asia, and a few months later to receive a letter from Prime Minister Mr. Lee Kuan Yew?
Well, it was something that till today I display the letter he wrote to me. Of course, when he wrote to me, I was the captain of the team. But why? A lot of people ask the question, say, why did he give you that letter? What's so special? I said, no. 1965, we just gained our independence. And he was very proud that a small country like Singapore able to achieve the gold medal, and that's why he gave the letter. And the letter till today is still on my desk in my office.
1965 is at that time was when we first got our independence. It was only a few months after independence, and a very significant part of the spirit of Singapore was being able to be starting on a winning track on a team game in water polo. And I believe he even got a letter of thanks or congratulations from the Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew then, and really something that we're very proud of. It was not an easy SEA Games. I believe we beat Malaysia by a very close margin, and we got the first SEA Games gold medal then. And with his participation, we never lost till recently when we lost the last SEA Games. So I think it's something that very significant. He started a legend, a trend, and we kept that going for a very long time. So, yeah.
So after 65, then you competed in 1967 and 69, the SEAP Games, SEA Games. It became a hat-trick, 3 gold medals.
Correct.
Did you expect the winning streak to continue to 3?
I think we work hard. I think nothing is for sure. I think that definitely, but we want to achieve that. And why? We were a young nation, just gained independence, and we want to do our utmost best
Okay.
for the country.
So 1 year later, in 1970, at the age of 33, you decided to stop being a player. Why did you stop at the age of 33?
No, I think at that time also because we have young players coming up also, my colleague also able to manage, and I think that we had foreign coaches and all that, and I think it's good for us to learn to be of what we are. So I became the coach, national coach, from them for the next 20 years or whatever it is.
Yep. You were also working in the Singapore Police Force,
Yes,
and you also took
yes.
on the role as national water polo coach, as you just said.
Yes.
Were you nervous when you undertook that responsibility, especially with the pressure of having to maintain the winning streak at the SEA Games?
Sure, the fear, the concern, the anxiety is always there. But to my mind, I always believe in this principle, and that is, when you want to do something, do it well, be committed, and give your utmost best. If your utmost best, even if you lose the team, so be it. Because why? You have achieved, you have given your utmost best to try to achieve the ultimate result. So be it, and you should be happy about it.
Okay. Apart from the multiple SEA Games gold medals, you also led the national team to a bronze medal finish at the 86 Asian Games.
Correct.
This was Teck In was also part of this one.
Correct,
in 86.
86, yeah, in Korea.
This was actually the last time Singapore actually won a medal at the Asian Games.
Correct.
In water polo.
Correct.
How important was it for you to be in the top 3 to top 6 in the continent during your coaching stint?
No, I think as far as I'm concerned, even as a captain, as a player, or even as a coach, I think the policy is always be committed and give your utmost best. That must be the case. Even if I don't achieve at the end of that result that I desire, but if I've given my utmost best, the boys have been committed and given their best, I will be more than satisfied.
Okay. In 1990, you stepped down as the national coach. Looking back at the 20 years at the helm, did you achieve what you set out to be in 1970?
Yeah, of course. You know, each era has its own expectation and different expectation. Okay. Now these days, things are moving on very fast. Everybody have foreign coach. Everybody wants to be there. They have the new. They go for, training outside, play with international, other school, and other team, other nation. So likewise, we are doing the same. But I think we have moved along that path until today.
Okay. Mr. Tan, meanwhile, towards the end of your coaching stint, there was a new role for you because you were offered the role of Deputy Chef de Mission at 3 Olympic campaigns. That was Seoul 1988, Atlanta 96 and Melbourne 2000, where when the Team Singapore contingent went for the Olympic Games, you were the Deputy Chef de Mission. Maybe you want to tell us about that experience?
No, I think it's really an experience, and I'm very grateful that they gave me that recognition to be able to be the Deputy Chef de Mission for the whole Singapore contingent, going to the Olympics or going to the Asian Games. It was something that I would say that it's a recognition given to me, but I think I needed the support of everybody, and during my spell during the 3 games internationally, all the athletes, all the officials work well with me, give me all the support, and I'm more than thankful.
Okay. I understand you have actually traveled to almost all of the SEA Games. There are 30 editions of the SEA Games. Manila was the last one 3 months ago. But I think all of but one, so 29. Can you confirm whether it was 29? Or even so, even if it's not 29, why did you make an attempt to go for as many games as possible?
No, I think it's not only a question that I want to make to go and all that. I think it's because of my contact, my interaction with some of the Asian or even the SEA Games country. They all know me well, and I think because of that, the association always will ask me or select me to go. I think in life is like that, or in in any sporting arena or even in any field or work or whatever, the people across, when there is a SEA Game, Asian Game, whatever game, they always will give you that due respect. And this interaction will go a long, long way to establish understanding with one country to another.
would you like to say a few words about your younger brother, Tan Eng Liang, who played in the same team as you in the 1956 Olympics? He also was in the same SEA Games team when you won the gold medals in 65 and 67.
No, I think my brother, Dr. Tan Eng Liang, is a really best, one of my best the brother in relationship to our elder brother. We are three of us. The eldest was a school principal, myself, and Eng Liang. Eng Liang, being the youngest, is always very respectful. No matter whatever it is, in whatever position, he always give you the due respect. And there's always to talk. To be able to talk, that he always remember that you are elder. And give you the due respect, although maybe he knows better than me sometimes. Said life. But I think in a traditional Asian family, and that is the way you must go.
I think Eng Bock and I, we were really honored, proud, privileged to represent Singapore in the major games. Especially when we won medals at the Asian Games, we got silver, and of course the Siap game, right? No word can describe, the tremendous pride and achievements to be part of a team that at the Siap game, or continue with the SEA game, that consecutively or continuously hold the gold medal 27 times, which is 54 years. There is or there are no team sports in Singapore or in the region that has achieved such glorious track record.
Is there one defining moment in your sporting career that you would like to share with us on SG Sports Legends? One.
I would say that never give up, be committed and achieve your dream. Chase after your dream, but be committed. Never, because the first time you try, you get disappointed, the result will come. No. Go for it and try your utmost best. You might not reach what you wanted to, but say for instance, all right, you are going to be a high jumper. Say for instance, 6 feet. 6 feet is the maximum that you can stay. You try. Then you say, no, I cannot. And then 5 feet, 5'5", and that's it. 6 feet, never do. Never give up. I try, and my maximum is 5'7", 5'8", but never 6 feet. I'm satisfied. But you mustn't give up. You must try until you're satisfied. Yeah, that's it. That's my maximum. And life will be very, very meaningful to you.
Singapore's reign as the region's water polo kings has been brought to an end after 27 straight SEA Games gold medals. Indonesia snatched the title after beating Malaysia 14-7 in their final group game.
Now, it's also the first gold of the Games. Indonesia topped the group with 3 wins and a draw, including a 7-5 victory over Singapore yesterday.
And that was Singapore's first defeat in SEA Games history, a period of more than half a century. A different picture for Singapore today. They fought back from 4-0 down to draw 6-all with hosts Philippines.
Both teams still have 1 game left to play. The Philippines will win silver if they beat Malaysia on Sunday, regardless of Singapore's next result. Singapore, meanwhile, will need to beat Thailand and hope for the Philippines to draw or lose to stand a chance of clinching silver.
We're speaking to SG Sports legend, Mr. Tan Eng Bock. Were you surprised to watch the current national team finish in 3rd place at the recent SEA Games in Manila?
Well, I mean, all this while since 1965, we have been the Asian Game, the SEA Games champion, and of course, you find a bit disappointed. But at the end of the day, I did speak to the boys before that, and as far as I'm concerned, as long as they really give their utmost best for the country, and that's it. Then learn from what mistake or learn from the defeat and be stronger, train harder, and the next one I try to bring back the glory.
That's right.
That's the way I told the boy.
So okay. But do you feel the team before the campaign, were they under pressure to deliver the straight SEA Games?
No,
gold
I
medal?
think that normally would be the pressure they would be confronted with because of past history to repeat, and I want to do well. But in doing so, we must not forget that the other team also will want to be their best. They would have trained harder. I'm not saying that our team are not training harder. They train as hard, but cannot everybody be the winner. Some will win, some will lose. But even if we have lost, so what? We learn from it, learn from the mistake, and train harder, and next round, try to beat them back. Story end.
Okay. What do you reckon the national team and Singapore Swimming Association can learn from the Manila SEA Games campaign for water polo?
No, I think that every game, every international game, we should be able to learn from it. But at the end of the day, we have so much activities individually, whether it's education, whether it's workload, whatever. But we have to be realistic and practical because that is not their priority. We are not professional. Eat and sleep and play nothing, water polo and that's it. No. We got this to do, that to do. But in spite of all that, we must make that sacrifice, that commitment, and try to give our utmost best for our country. That's all.
You're a living legend because you competed back in 1956 at the Olympic Games in Melbourne. From then till now, we have never featured in the Olympic Games. Is there a reason? Maybe you can tell us.
No, I think the question here is that the team are more competitive. The team are much stronger than my time. Lesser, okay. Because I think till today it's still the same. The champion team in Asia will automatically qualify for the Olympics. And we qualified because we won the Asian Games, correct? Yeah. So before we can consider that, never mind. Give your utmost best. Try to be one of the strongest teams in Asia. And hopefully that one day we will beat Japan, we will beat China, all right? I mean, be very frank about it. When I started playing water polo, China was nowhere around. But now, how to beat them? There is such a big population, the choice, the base is so big. But being very practical, I'm not saying that we should not, but we will try, we will try and give our utmost best. But be practical, be realistic, and be thankful of what we are. A small little country, but we give our utmost best.
Is there one thing that you see that we are still lacking in the water polo setup today? One thing.
I would only say this that I think they are doing it. Not that it's not fair for me to say one thing that no. They are doing it. You need to be exposed. You need to go outside and play. You cannot keep to yourself within the small well and be. You must expose and you must learn and you must try your utmost best. And playing means exposure, means experience. And everyone is doing that. Not now, not that, okay, only Singapore is doing. No, Japan, China, everybody is doing it. So we need to keep up with that trend and try our utmost best to slowly but surely climb up and meet them at the same level.
Okay. It's been, it's been more than 30 years since we last medaled at the Asian Games.
Sure.
When do you foresee us being back at the podium at the Asian Games?
It will be difficult, I don't mind saying that, because it's very simple, because our population is quite small, to be very fair. You want to talk with China, you want to talk with Japan, they are much bigger, better choice, better pitch. But I'm not saying that we should not. We should try. Even though we might not be the champion, but we must try. Now we are hovering around 5th, 6th or whatever there. So we must slowly build up and try to go from 6, we try the next time go to 5 and try to go to 4. I'm very realistic and very practical. I never say, hey, we go straight, go medal. It will not be that easy for us. China, Japan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, so many. Iran.
The Tan family. The Tan family.
Try and then move on and do our utmost best for our country. Okay.
I'm assuming you have grandchildren, and if you do, are they Are they being
I
in water
have
polo?
I have three grandchildren, all belong to Matthew. Two girls and one boy. The boy play a bit in polytechnic, poly. The girl, of course, he graduated, now working, and the youngest one is O level. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't force any one of them that they swim a bit, but I don't insist to say you better swim hard and train hard and be water polo player. No, this you must have the passion for it. Passion for it. Much as I like, you know, the family, even my nephew or my cousin or what. But life goes on. They have their priority, they have their commitment. But hopefully that not only my family, other boys are committed. Slowly but surely we move on step by step and regain the crown in Malaysia.
Okay. Would you like to say a quick word on your role as the Assistant Commissioner of the Singapore Police Force?
Well, I've since retired, although I'm working as Executive Director in a security company. But I must say this, that not because I've been ex-director CID and blah blah blah. But Singapore is very safe. We are always on the move. We look into terrorism. We look into racial problem. We look into everything. So I think our government, our Home Affairs are doing a good job. So I hope that we will continue to enjoy this peace in this part of the world.
Okay. What is your message to the people who are watching, the fans of water polo as well as for Singapore sports, for those who still remember you as an athlete, as a coach as well?
Okay, never give up your dream of what you want to do. Whether it's water polo, whether it's soccer, any game, or even anything that you are doing, your work, your hobby. If you have the passion for it, go for it, give your best. And then at the end of the day, whether you achieve your aim or your result, don't be disappointed. Feel that you have tried your utmost best. I don't think this is the right thing for me, and change. But move on. Life is beautiful and it's short. Short in the sense that we do not know what's in store for us tomorrow. But be contented, be happy, don't be envious. Congratulate people who have done well. Don't feel that why this and that. All of us are made together, different expectations, but we move on as one, and we are thankful that we are staying in Singapore.
Well, Mr. Tan Eng Bock has been an amazing presence in water polo from the 1950s, and he's been there when we won the Asian Games gold medal, and he was there when we played in the only time we ever played in the Olympics in Melbourne in 1956, and he's been there as a player through many years, captaining and leading the team into the first SEA Games when we won our first gold medal over a long series of gold medals over half a century later. He continued to be a coach for many years, and then an administrator for the sport, and he was an amazing godfather for many players, many of whom are now already coaches and administrators in the sport itself, and really incredible impact. And not only was he really involved himself, but he was also involved because his sons continued to play with his encouragement, and they also continued to win gold medals in the SEA Games and were significant contributors. Together with his brother Eng Liang and his elder brother Eng Chai, they were really a family of water polo players, and his uncle we hope before him. So really, he's the epitome of all that we can see in water polo, and fully deserves Mr. Water Polo as a nickname. Well, Eng Bock was already retired by the time I became the president of Swimming Association. But what I found in working with him was he was always encouraging. He always had good things to say about what's going on. If you're not doing well, he'll always say something like, don't worry, it will get better. But most of the time, it'll be well done, you'll do a good job, I'm really supportive of you. And whenever I talk to the water polo guys, if I wanted to implement something here or there, very often they would want to get Eng Bock's implicit approval and support as well, because he has such an influence on the game. So I could see that shadow of him over water polo even to the, recently, and always encouraging, always supportive, and whenever we have any events, he will always be there. So really a joy working with him.
How do you feel about his passing, which was back in November?
Yeah, because in fact, quite a lot of mutual friends may have known that we are very good friends. So I start receiving messages through my mobile, and say that he has passed away. So it was a shock to me. And as I said, I was still hospitalized for almost 5 days. And when I returned home and they told me about his wake, I couldn't attend at that time. But I sent word to my friends who attend to send my condolences and so on. You know, it was a real shock to me, because he has always been very cheerful, living life to the fullest. And suddenly I got the message that he got massive heart attack or stroke, and he has passed away. So that was how the message was conveyed to me. Yeah.
And now it's been 2 months. What is your mindset now that it's been almost 2 months?
Well, you have lost a good friend, and as I've said that we have both stopped golf for almost 1 year because of my kneecap problem, and you was calling me before this, when are we going to start again? So that I think that's how the few conversations I had with him before he passed away. Yeah. Well, the golf only started in the 1980s. That's why I took up golf. Both of us took up golf late, and that is where we started learning to play golf. First at Seletar Golf Club, and because I was not a member and he was a member, we asked for permission to play early in the morning before the other golfers come in. So we have to start at the break of dawn, and in order to start learning how to play golf. And I think that's where we started. And we do that for almost one week, maybe 2 times, 3 times. And after we were able to play well, then later on, I think, Eng Bock and myself later on became member of the Island Club. That's where we continued with our golf session and so on with a group of friends.
So, who would you say was the better golfer, or did you all have like friendly little wagers for?
Well, the thing is that by character, I have never wanted to bet on anything, and they know and it's a matter of, I don't like the kind of betting going on, because ultimately you're going to take money from your friend. So I told them, look, from my childhood day, when I started, in Chinese New Year, when we start playing cards, gambling, and when I won all the thing, I feel very bad, I return the money to my friend. So I told him I do not bet at all. So that's how we are essentially social golfer. And we enjoy each other's company and golf, and that's about the only thing.
And after that, you all adjourn to have makan sessions?
To have, for example, by the time we finish 9 hole, it's still morning, and maybe 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We will either have our breakfast at the Island Club, or we move to the food center near Ang Mo Kio, which was nearest to it. And we'll have a jolly good time, and and he always liked to crack jokes, telling about this, that, and that's how life passed on in that sense.
Of course, you're a family friend as well. You would have known him and seen him as a father as well as a grandfather.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something about?
Well, I think he is a devoted family man, that's for sure. He has 3 big boys now, as you know, Matthew and the other twins. And he has a very strong relationship with the family, apart from with only the direct family, the wife, Matthew and the twins. He's also on a very close term with Eng Liang, Eng Chai, his elder brother. I think he is the number 2. Eng Chai is number 1. And they are all part of the, and plus the uncle, they are part of the swimming community among themselves, in that sense. I remember very well. Very close family relationship, a very caring family man, and as I said, always have interest of everybody at heart.
No, I'm still saddened and shocked by the sudden loss. Of course, I miss him profoundly.
What is it about Eng Bock that you miss him the most?
Well, Eng Bock is caring, helpful, kind, fantastic, brotherly love. And I think anyone who has met him, he leads. And therefore, these are the qualities that I find it dear and close to me.
And he remained involved with the sport for an overall total of 50 years. In a nutshell, to summarize, can you tell us the impact Eng Bock had on the sport of water polo in Singapore for 50 years?
I think there's no doubt, without any question, that he played a very significant role over the 30, 40, 50 years. In fact, he has his fingerprint in every aspect of water polo, from development to the national level, right? And not only, was he instrument, actually, he was involved in the Southeast Asia Water Polo, the Asian Water Polo Federation, and also with FINA in the technical committee. So not only did he do us proud and develop water polo to a very significant extent in Singapore, but also internationally. If you go to China in particular, you just mentioned his name. They work very closely with him. And in fact, part of our training regime, if you notice, we've been to Australia, to I think Guangzhou in particular. So he had tremendous international contact, and that also helped, in raising the standard, getting good coach to come here. And I think maybe it was right to say that he was called Mr. Water Polo. I do not think of any personality during these 30, 40 years that literally sacrificed and made water polo, I would say, his first love. Yeah. Now in that respect, the Eng Chai and I were very privileged to serve with Eng Bock in the Swimming Association. If you look at the record of the Swimming Association in those days, for 20, 30 years, we all are involved. Eng Chai was national coach swimming, Eng Bock was water polo, I was both and also became a patron. So we are bound and love swimming and water polo. And I think if you talk of water polo, none other than Eng Bock.
Well, it's pretty sudden, the passing of my dad. So I think it's really something, not easy to, accept, but you have to try to, basically be strong and try to move on, yeah.
what do you miss most about your father?
Well, I think he was, not only my coach, my dad, but also a friend, besides the daily phone calls, and the banter that we had, he always called me up, whether coming over for lunch and then all that. So it's the daily or often conversations, that I had with him. I think that will be something which I will really, miss. Yeah.
You were team captain and you won 10 SEA Games gold medals over a period of 20 years.
Yes.
Did you feel pressured to take up water polo in your younger days because of your father?
No. I may be a third generation water polo player. My uncle, we hope being the first, my dad being the second. But I think, my dad did not pressure me in any way. When I was younger, he used to bring me to the pool at Toa Payoh, where I gradually, picked up the interest myself. Yeah.
And you said your father was the one who taught you swimming?
Yeah, in the early days, when I was in my younger days, primary and all that, that's where he introduced me to swimming. And gradually, the yellow ball appeared in the pool, and then he used to throw the ball around. That's how I slowly started also. Yeah.
Did your father ever coach you during your national team career when you were a player?
He was there, most of the time during the training sessions. Maybe not in capacity as the coach, maybe, as a vice president water polo, but yes, he did guide me in the early years when I was a youth team, where he, was there coaching and helping along as well. Yeah.
Okay. What is the best advice he ever gave you?
Okay. I think when I was a player and as captain, all right, always be one step ahead, especially when you're playing, in the SEA Games, knowing your opponents, and then to be totally prepared. That means being one step ahead, of your opponents and the other countries as well in the SEA Games. Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe his role as a father and what did you learn from him?
Yeah. He being a former policeman, I think number one would be disciplinarian. So that goes without saying at home, and that will also happens in the pool as well. So I think his being disciplined has helped me, in my regimental training as well, and that's how I progress, become the captain in the team. Yeah.
Is there one line that you remember he always kept saying, just one that is at the back of your head?
I think every time, whether it's to me or the players, he's always asking for our best, in training to give your best, So that's where he always helps out when it comes to training, whether, it's picking up the guys from the pool or sending them, to training, right? He always encourages and always asking us to give our best. Yeah.
Mr. Tan Eng Bock, you're a SEA Games gold medalist, an Asian Games gold medalist, an Olympian, a national coach for 20 years, and you're a Hall of Famer as well. You truly are an SG sports legend. Thank you.